So these are the three key principles that helped me make my first million and hopefully can help you make your first million as well. Principle number one is skill set. You've got to determine and develop some skill set in the marketplace that is highly valuable, right? So for me, the skill set that I developed over the years of doing this is I found out that most businesses struggled with generating clients online. And this was a skill set that I developed because we used to struggle with getting clients online. So what I did to kind of learn this skill set was just start becoming obsessed with figuring it out, right? Like I'd buy into courses, programs, mentorships, anyone that had that type of knowledge. I was just constantly learning and adapting and testing new things. And eventually, after years of doing it, it became a skill set that we became really good at and developed our own strategy out of. So when we determined this skill set, it was something that we solved a problem in the marketplace. And I think that's a big thing, is if you can determine a big problem that you can solve, you're going to be rewarded very highly in return. So an easy way to look at this is just look at something that you're struggling with or something that you struggled with and figure out a way to solve that problem, and then go out there and solve it for somebody else, and then somebody else and somebody else, and then turn it into something that's scalable. That's what we did inside our program, Authority Income Accelerator, is we noticed a lot of people they struggled with getting clients and building authority in their space. So after we solved that for ourselves, we went out there and taught other clients how to do it, and then taught other clients how to do it, and started scaling it into something where we're consistently helping more clients every single day. So the number one thing with this is you've got to have some sort of skill set to go out there and be able to be highly valuable in the marketplace. And I think with everything that's going on, with how the world is going and how the recession's coming and all of that, like the most important thing that you can bet on is yourself, right? And when you bet on yourself, a lot of that kind of comes down to investing in yourself and building skill sets. So what I would say for right now, if you're kind of figuring that out right now, or you're still kind of in that point where it's like, I have a skill set or I don't even know where to start, just invest in yourself, find some sort of proven track record, and then go that way, which kind of goes into principle number two, which is guidance. You've got to have someone guide you along the way. Especially for me, like I did not know anything about getting clients or sales or personal branding. Like if you would have told me this when I graduated college in 2017, that this is where I'd be right now, and I'd be on here shooting a video talking about getting clients and personal branding, I would have probably said you're crazy, right? But like I had a small vision, and then I found the type of people that already had those results, and then I figured out a way to pay them, because you've got to pay to play in this space that we're in. I honestly kind of think of like this online space as like a video game that we're in, like no lie. It's how do you get to the next level? And usually it's just collecting enough knowledge, and then also collecting enough cash so you can pay that next person to get you to that next level. And when you find those right type of people, things that I look for when I'm investing in like a mentor or a program or anything like that is usually if I can just get one piece of information out of it to get me to the next level, for me, that's an ROI enough to get to the next level. A lot of times people come into programs and they think that they're going to be an overnight millionaire and everything's going to change overnight. And sometimes that happens. We've helped quite a bit of clients do that. However, for me, where I'm at now, it's more of like when I'm investing in something, if I can just get one piece of information that'll help me get to the next level, that's considered a win for me, right? And like that also goes to show, if you are going to invest in a mentor or a program or a guidance, like actually listen to what they say. Don't just go in there and be a know-it-all and think that you know everything. Actually go in there with an open mind and listen to what they say. A lot of times the best results I've had was having to set my ego aside and listen to someone else and understand where they're coming from and understand that they are the expert in the space, and that helped me get to the next level. So get rid of your ego when you're going out and hiring mentors or getting in programs. But ultimately, I think, to be real with you, like if you really want to level up, and part of the journey to $1 million, whether it's your first million, second million, 10 million, all the way up, is like you've got to have the right guidance. So principle 2 is guidance. And then principle 3, and this is one that took me a while to really understand and kind of developed, is passion, right? Like when I first got into this space, I got into it for the money, to be real with you, because I was a broke college student. I had $40 in my name. I went $30,000 into debt just to like learn skill sets, right? And it's all paid off. But for me at the time, it was always chasing, I got to make more money. I got to make more money. I got to do this to grow. And it finally came a point where it caught up with me where I had enough money and I wasn't fulfilled on what I was doing, right? So like I have a video, I'll link it down below, talking a little bit more about my story, my burnout, why I just completely ended a 7-figure business that I had. And a lot of it had to do with just not being passionate about it, to be real with you, because this is something like, this is a business that you're running, right? And like, this is something that you actually have to be passionate about and something that you want to grow. And for me, I had an agency and I wasn't, running lead generation campaigns for like chiropractors in the solar industry. Just being inside ads manager all day didn't really fulfill me. So that's why we kind of transitioned into more of like the coaching style, which if you watch that video, it'll be linked down below. You'll get some more info on the context behind that. But I think this was my biggest lesson learned, is you've got to be passionate about it. It's got to be something that actually drives you and motivates you. And if you're sitting here like kind of similar to what I was, and you're like, Justin, man, like I'm running an agency. I'm not passionate about creating websites, or I'm not passionate about this. Like, it's fine. You don't have to just stop everything you're doing right now and just pivot. But I would say, like, think about that. Like, think about what your actual 5-year, 10-year plan is, right? Do you want to be doing what you're doing 5 years from now? If not, you might want to start slowly looking at that pivot. But it's also important to be making a smart pivot rather than just dropping everything that you got and just moving over, right? So I think when you really have your passions in place, it gets you a lot more. I think the term motivated is something that goes away and you become disciplined. Like for me, once I kind of figured out the direction I was going, and it took me a while to do this, to be honest with you, like waking up early wasn't hard. Going to bed early wasn't hard. Working longer wasn't hard. And it kind of felt like that, when you're first getting started as an entrepreneur, going back to that journey of like, when you're first getting started and you first start making money, you're just grinding nonstop and you love it, right? Like that was the kind of the journey and the experience that I felt once I got realigned with my ultimate vision. So we'll say principle 3 is passion, but ultimately like putting it in line with your ultimate vision, your ultimate purpose. Like, what is it that you're meant to do? And it's not going to be something, if you don't know right now, it's not going to be something that happens overnight. But if you do know, ride that and go all in on it. Because I think that's where a lot of people mess up, is they go half in on one thing, half in on another, or maybe they have like 4 or 5 different businesses. And I'm laughing because that was me. Like I had literally this time last year, I had 5 different businesses, right? They were all producing good cash, but it goes to show like I wasn't passionate about what I'm doing. But now I have one business, some other income streams as well, but like 99%, 100% of my attention is on this one business. And like, that's where you want to get to, is where everything else doesn't matter, but you have like one thing that's like your main thing, and it comes with your passion. So these are my 3 key principles. You guys voted on Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, go follow me. I usually post something on there like asking you guys what you want to hear more about, and that's why we picked this video. So these are my 3 key principles. I'd be curious, what are your top 3 principles? Drop them down below. And if you found value in this, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.